Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Hello, hello, hello. I am Dr. Hollie Kelly, and this is Dr. Kelly's Perspective for Wednesday, September 13th, 2017. I wanted to come to you and just ask a question this morning. How you living? That's what I entitled today's perspective. How you living? And I thought about it because I saw someone yesterday in absolutely, completely only react mode. And it made me start thinking, okay, do we live our life in a reactionary mode or a responding mode? And they are very different. People who react are very emotive and they live off the cuff and they're off the handle, whereas those who have developed the habit, and hear me well, those who have learned to respond to life instead of reacting, they stop and they think. You didn't hear me say, please do not hear that they're smarter, they're more intelligent, they're more mature. They have learned, they have disciplined themselves, they have made a habit to respond to their environment, their circumstances, their situations, instead of always reacting. Reacting looks very different from responding. And so yesterday, hey sis, thank you for tuning in. Listen, so for all of those who have lived, I'm going to throw out some scenarios and you'll see it. You'll recall situations in your mind's eye or in your personal life. And so I'm hopeful that this just gives you pause to think about what is running your life. Do you have emotions running your life, or do you have a thought process, a rational, cognitive thought process running your life? Because it shows up in every aspect of our life. On our jobs, people who are reactive because because your supervisor comes in and maybe looks at you a little crazy and asks, why are you late? And you were late. And you go off on them. Or you run down 1,000 excuses with an attitude in your tone. And so that's a reaction, as opposed to a thought out process that, yes, you were late, and not an excuse, but a rational conversation about it. Or better yet, you already know you were late, so you let folks know. But you pop off at the handle. In marriages, in relationships with our spouse, our children, reactionary people will say the first thing that comes to their mind. And words are, can be very damaging. Yes, if I go off on you and say something very, very ugly, can I come back and ask you to forgive me? Absolutely. I can come back with tears streaming down my face. I'm talking about big old ugly tears. I was so wrong. Please forgive me. I can't believe I said that. Well, believe it, because it came out of your mouth. But here's the part. You can be forgiven. They can forgive you. But the damage was done. You can't unhear stuff. Okay, so once you say, and reactionary people always think about that after the fact, as opposed to taking a breath. And please don't attempt to tell me that, well, you don't know, because sometimes, and they just make me. Well, that's already an issue, because people don't make us unless we're in react mode. I don't care how ugly you are. If I have conditioned my mind and disciplined myself, especially, you know the nuts in your life. You see them coming a mile away. You know them. Oh my goodness. It's almost like we work up on some stuff. Oh, I hope to God he don't come around here talking that stuff today, because and you plan it all. It's all planned out about what you gonna say if he open his mouth, and what you gonna do. And then okay, so we plan all this stuff out. Okay, so you know those who are going to trigger you. If we live in a reactionary mode, we will always operate emotionally. Okay. But guess what? Our emotions, they're like a Richter scale. Give me $100, I am happy. You step on my toe one too many times, I'm irritated with you. So if we live our lives on an emotion basis, versus a principle basis, versus our values basis, it will show up in how we react or whether or not we respond. And it damages relationships with our coworkers, with our family, our friends, those we, go to church with, those we work on, have sports leagues with. All of that matters. Our health, even our health. People who are more reactionary will say, well, I want it because, I'm going to eat it because I want to and I deserve it. Always with an attitude. You see me got the little attitude, right? as if they're justifying something. Okay? Instead of saying, yes, I sure would like that third cookie. I sure would like that second piece of cake. But guess what? I said out of my own mouth, good morning, Tanya. I said out of my own mouth that this was the month that I'm going to start and be intentional about getting back on track with my health. So because I have disciplined myself, because I've planned out, again, no growth happens if you're not being intentional about it, period. If you're waiting on time and say, well, I guess, I'll change sooner or later, it doesn't work like that. We have to be intentional. We have to be deliberate about every change that we're going to ever experience in our lives. So in every aspect of your life, we all have an option as to whether or not we're going to react to it, whether or not we're going to respond to it. So how are you living? How are you living your life? When you look around, do you see people reacting? And don't just put it on the younger kids like, well, that's a teen. They always going off. No. It starts, what are we demonstrating to them? What are we teaching them? Okay, there are easy techniques. That old thing you used to hear about, just slow down, breathe, and count to 10. Don't open your mouth. Especially if you're one who is very quick or can be very quick to say something sarcastic or rude or in your version of funny. And it's never funny. It's just like rude on the sly or rude with a smile, demeaning on the sly. Okay, so you have to be conscious of what is happening. If you don't like the results you're getting in your life, with your marriage, with your relationships, with your coworkers, with your teammates, your folks you go to church with, your auxiliaries, if you don't like the results that you're getting, turn the mirror around and see what you're doing. How are you living your life? Is everything in react mode? Is everything always at a level 10 with you? Okay, that's something that you have to self-assess, honestly. That's something you have to do. If people are always saying, oh my goodness, don't take that to her today because she is, oh, good night, I just don't want to deal with you today. Listen to that. As difficult as it may be, as much as it may sting to hear that reality, if we're ever going to grow, if we're going to continue and head on our journey of becoming the best version of who you are, you can't ignore these things, especially from those who know you and love you and want to value you. Okay, this gets us in trouble. All this facial expression gets us in trouble. My husband tells me quite often. Well, now that I think about it, he hasn't said it as often. But he'll say, look, Holly, just because you don't yell, that don't mean anything. I'm looking at your face all screwed up. Okay, so this says a whole lot before you even open your mouth. Let's learn, let's practice, let's discipline ourselves to respond. Because the reactions, the end result is probably going to be much better than if you had just reacted and gone off of the first emotion. If you're not living your life based off of principles will not allow you to talk to certain people a certain way. Principles will not allow you to react. Principles are your foundation. So you're not starting from scratch. You're not coming just from your gut, from your emotion. You have a set of principles that say, no, I'm not going to treat that person like that. I can't work like that. That's not who I am. And there's nothing you can do, nothing you can say. Fix your face. That's it, Danita. I heard that, oh my goodness, way too often. I know exactly what that means, fix your face. Okay, so you know, it's our choice. It is our choice as to how we live our lives. Are we always going to be in react mode? Or can we grow up? Can we mature? Can we discipline ourselves to respond? Just do a little self-experiment. Just do a little experiment. Every time you would open to go off on someone, bring it back down. Bring it back down. There's another way to say exactly what you want to say. You can even fire people. You can break up with people without destroying a person's character. You can. You do not have to shred a person, and I had to get my point across. Okay, Miss Reactionary. Okay, all right. You're leaving a trail of brokenness behind you. So because I saw it live and in color, and it was so not pretty. I'm waiting to see if the person got fired today. I mean, really, it was bad. Okay, real quick scenario of the specific. 2 employees almost got into a fist fight. I mean, arguing, cussing, fussing. I don't know if they're going to lose the contract or not. Because those employees represent your company. They represent you. They represent your organization. And they were acting a stone nut. Just completely emotional, reactive. Okay, there are always second, third, fourth order effects. You are not easily out there on your own. So I'm just asking for us to think a second time. Just rethink, pre-think. Position yourself in a place where you are determined to respond today. No reaction from you. No reactions, just responses. Alrighty. Until next time, take real good care of yourselves.